Happy Halloween, chaps! It's me, the Salah, back again, and doing something a little bit different. So, this is something I've been meaning to do for a while, actually, and that's reaction videos, which my good friend Daylight Twinkle has recommended that I start doing, specifically to some of his videos, which is what I'm going to be reacting to today. So, it's one that he's been hyping up for quite a while. It's called Engine 13, which is an adaptation of... Let me just find the guy's the name here. Matt Dotson, aka Matt Railfanning. Not actually read the story before, but I'm very interested to see what this is about. I have actually seen this video before. I've seen it a bit earlier. So, but literally, I'm doing this as a test, really, to kind of see if my laptop can handle reaction videos. But let's just get straight into this. Drop a video a like if you enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff like this. So, without further ado, 3, 2, 1, and play! I turned the lights off since this is Halloween special, but I don't think it can handle it. Oh, okay, so I'm very familiar with this cover. This cover I'm very familiar with. I can't remember who did it, though. But yeah, he did those kind of little extra things in the background of it. It's absolutely marvellous. Hang on, it's buffering. Very good intro so far. Very good intro. It's just so terrifying, this theme. It's so scary. It's so scary. Yeah, I know it's a cover. It's kind of meant. It's made a bit differently, but fucking hell, it's ideal to kind of establish a tone. Now, I do know Daylight does have a green screen, so I can't tell if he used it for that shot. I'm liking it so far, we haven't even started yet. No, very solid intro. Very solid intro.
Until the end of the 19th
Exposition.
I was an engineer on the ET and WNC Railroad, aka East Tennessee and West North Carolina Railway in North Carolina. I was specifically division.
That's scary.
My prime locomotive was the number 11. There was one story, though, that I have to tell about this railroad that I dare not have ever spoken of until now.
I wonder what it could be. Honestly, I can't think in my head. Honestly, I cannot possibly think what mysterious, if there's a mysterious ghost engine involved with the number 13. Let's continue watching and find out, shall we?
Back in 1949, just 2 days.
I timed that cut very well.
Pause. I was running the 11 around the yard, shunning cars to get ready to pull the train the next day down to Cranberry.
Cranberry.
The next
I
morning,
don't actually like cranberries.
up to the train and departed the town.
I'm liking this. Gives that real kind of old-timey kind of railroad kind of feel. You know those, you know on Shiny Time Station where they used to have the puppet the jukebox band, where they used to have these segments where they play these kind of old-timey railroading songs. I do feel like it does establish a kind of sense of era and also atmosphere. So very good choice. Never heard that piece of music before, but It's catchy.
We arrived at Cranberry about 2 hours later, and then uncoupled so we could turn the train around.
Bit fuzzy the quality on this, but I don't really think that matters. Not to me, anyway. It's watchable. Quite slowly paced.
We then hooked up again to the train and headed back down to Johnson City. After we got back to Johnson City, we shunted cars around for other locomotives, such as number 12.
Very slowly paced, I like it.
11, 9, and 12 around this time were around the only locomotives operating at this point. The one locomotive that never was made that scared us all to the core was number 13. 13 was going to originally be the third locomotive in the 10-wheeler class. 13 was never made due to the ET and WNC finding out later on that the 13 was an unlucky number.
That is true.
A lot of crew members would say...
I've looked it up. American superstition is that 13 is an unlucky number.
13. But at the time,
Not entirely sure where that comes from, but...
It wasn't until this experience that I began to believe them. This night was like any other at first. We were sitting in Cranberry with the locomotive just sitting there. And then all of a sudden,
and yet there's no...
shuffling coming down.
It's clearly a town, yet there's no buildings in the
I
background.
cautiously walked over to the tracks to look around. There was not an engine in sight. I was kind of uneased by this, but I let it slide. Then a whistle began to blow. It was much deeper and much more hollow than anything I'd ever heard. I looked over to where the noise was coming from to see a 10-wheeler locomotive.
Lighting's very nice. That lighting is nice.
It had a glowing ore coming from it, and it dawned the number 13. My heart sunk. How was this possible, I thought? Number 13 was never built. The engine stopped next to the tracks, and an engineer got out, and he was named C-DOS. Excuse me,
What?
sir, the engineer, but do you have
What's
to
his
know what
name?
the train is? I somehow managed to get myself to help him direct himself to the train. The engine backed up to the consist and actually took off with it.
This is good so far, I'm not gonna lie. It's creepy. It's mostly kind of exposition, but it's very nice.
I chased after the train in my car. I got over to the downtown Cranberry Trestle. Nothing. Around 5 in the morning, though, I heard that same dreaded chuffing again, and that deep whistle began to blow.
Ah, yeah, Haunted Henry's theme. There we go.
It was so deep and haunting, I'd never heard anything else like it. It howled like a demon, echoing through
How many Halloween specials is this theme gonna be in? Holy shit.
Eventually creeped over the trestle. I looked over at the engine as the engineer was waving at me. What made it even scarier was I blinked and the entire locomotive and the chuffing was gone.
Oh, that must seem so surreal. Just kind of, you just blink for a single second, and then, dear God, it's gone. It just, I can just imagine how surreal that must feel. So,
I was so shaken up, I drove down to Cranberry and reported my experience. For the next 2 weeks, there was an investigation. And they found 6-inch Crosby 3-chime laying against the track. This whistle was never seen on that same area before. It had looked like it had been there for years. We flipped the whistle over to see the numbers 13 carved into the side of the whistle.
there's a real motif with whistle here. I'm wondering kind of what that's about. It's effective, don't get me wrong, but I'm just wondering what it's about. I'm just curious.
That was the whistle I heard that night. That whistle was so haunting, I could never get it out of my head. I'm just glad I finally...
Because sound is very powerful, and you can imagine like the sound of a whistle. It's very, very powerful. It's very impactful, so to speak. It would something like that, and it's like, especially like a whistle from a ghost train, that would send shivers down your spine. Especially finding the number on the back of it. Oh, so you're retired? Okay. Good on them.
I decided to ask local townspeople that used to live there if they had heard a deep-sounding whistle. No one could ever recall hearing one as deep as I can describe, except one person. It was Jacob Doss. I asked him if he had heard a deep Crosby 3 chime near the trestle.
Wait, wasn't Doss the last name of the engineer? Or is this the same man? It was the engineer that got out of Engine 13 was something Doss. So is this like his son or something? And Engine 13 did exist? I don't know. I don't care to know. I'm enjoying this. Well, I've enjoyed this. It's nearly over.
And he said that the whistle slowly began to creep open until it reached its fullest power, and then the whistle began to slowly quiet down just as slowly as it opened up.
Ooh.
This sent goosebumps down my spine.
I love how they shake hands. That's very cool.
Just fake.
Just little things like that.
Sighting of the engine number 13.
Very
I saw that,
intricate description of the whistle.
I hope I never have to experience anything like that again.
That was good. That was actually really good. Instrument. Was it Instrument Maniac? Yeah, I think it might be Instrument Maniac. I'm thinking of. Muscle engines can do big things. Studios. Well, that was actually really good. No, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that one. It was of course the quality is not 100%. It's not like professional quality, but I don't really think that matters because he's like, again, this is a small time YouTuber that's not really doing anything with his money. And he's not really doing anything with his YouTube channel. He's not making money out of it. But I think as a kind of small time production, it's really well paced, really well. Like, I granted some of the pacing comes from the story itself, but I think it's really well made, really creepy, and kind of because there are really dramatic moments in this. There are no kind of like jump scares or anything unless you count the opening. If you're not expecting that cover of Ghost Train, then that will give you quite a fright. But it's really good. A really kind of simple, really nice Halloween story, and I hope there's more to this story because, quite frankly, I'm really fascinated by that, especially near the end where with that person that said he'd heard the whistle, like that last name something Dotson. Like I want to know, did Engine 13 exist? Like there's clearly kind of potential in the story going forward, and I'm really I know I watched the premiere last night. But I'm so glad I watched it again. I don't think I could really get enough of this. And it's short as well. It's like a creepypasta, you know. It's one of those really short creepypastas. But all in all, I really enjoyed this. And also credit to Matt Railfan for creating this story. It's not the most compelling thing I've ever heard, but kind of in just its simplicity and just creep factor, I think it's really helped. I think it really helped. Yeah, I just think it's really good. I think it's really, really good. But no, I enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed this one. And I hope to do more reaction videos. Like I said before I watched this video, drop a like. Please do drop a like and subscribe if you want me to do more of these. Like I won't just do Daylight Twinkle. I can do. I'm actually thinking of doing Bob Scribbler's Friendship is Tragic, which is something. Which I think is very interesting. I purposely put off watching it over the month of October so I can have a kind of a late Halloween watching it. But no, also Ashton and 1920's Sodal Fallout movie is coming out soon. So that should be interesting. So the future is bright for me in terms of reactions. If you want me to keep doing these reactions, please do let me know because I really enjoyed watching this. Again, having seen it before, but I've really enjoyed doing this. I really enjoyed doing this reaction. So this is Little Out for now. Signing off. See ya.